People that are physically fit, mentally, emotionally intelligent, that perform cognitive tasks under load, when you layer technology on, they actually use technology better than the folks that maybe didn't get that same baseline fundamental.
How are you balancing introducing technology to the force, because it is critical in the peer-to-peer fight, but at the same time, we have to develop men and women of strong character who are willing and able to do hard things with or without technology, because technology has been made to make our lives easier, not harder.
There is no question in my mind that the 21st century battlefield will be saturated with technology. And so I think by focusing on the human and getting the best possible human, that human will better adapt to that technology. Right? Just fundamentally, in terms of answering your question, I think you pick the right people with the right attributes who can be trained and who can adapt to almost any environment. You could teach them the technology because they're the right people. There is one aspect, though, that I think is really critical right now, and that's robotics. As you look at the Army's continuous transformation, that there is a desire to better understand where robotics fit on the battlefield. And I think we see the evolution of potentially a new career field in SOF that is focused on robotics. It's still kind of fledgling and under development. But our boss has challenged us to take a look at what it would take to establish a new military occupational specialty inside of special operations that is a robotics and autonomous system integrator and innovator, and what that would look like.
So really a change to the MTO.
Potentially a change to the MTO, right? Continuous transformation. We're constantly exercising, testing, and evaluating new ideas. But I think we see robotics at echelon. We see robotics required at the tactical edge where our teams are operating. To both enable a partner, but also to achieve effects, not just reconnaissance, but lethality as well. We see robotics at echelon to keep pace with the technology and at the pace at which evolution and things are changing in this space to stay relevant and field that very quickly. Now that's going to take some resources. It's going to take some authorities by the Department of Defense to keep pace with that technological change. But we think it's absolutely critical. But again, back to your point, I think my partner here would agree. It's the human at the end of the day. If you pick the right human, you can bring those skills to bear on that right human to use it in what, in our case, for our career field, is in very politically sensitive, often denied environments. That adds a layer of stress and complexity. So I went to robotics there, but really it's the question of humans versus technology. Mm-hmm. That I lead up.
Again, going back to the recipe of A&S is selecting the right person. So we need people with high character with values that align with our SOF attributes. They're physically fit, mentally and emotionally intelligent. They can perform cognitive tasks in stressful environments and be adaptable, right? And that's what A&S does. And then we train them. And then when you talk about layering technology, right? So just like anything else, not sound old school traditional, you got to have a solid foundation of basic fundamentals, and then we grow from there. So we can never really sway too far in our pipeline or any of our courses of preparing people for the worst day in combat. Combat is a human endeavor, and we need to prepare them for the reality of the worst day in their life at ground combat. Though we do have to layer technology. So I think of like range 37 Sephardi, for example. We have all sorts of optics and red dots that enhance the shooter. But maybe we start with iron sights before we layer on optics, and then we grow from there. And the same with robotics or anything else. The use of GPS and things like that. So at 8 our Advanced Tactics Infiltration course, it's very easy to push a bundle at night under nods on a GPS-guided bundle with a IR chem light cracked and follow that bundle to the ground with an ATAC system. What do we do in a GPS-denied environment now? ATAC is jumping, map and compass, chasing bundles, right? But they need to be able to work that map and compass before they can flip down that advanced system. So there's this layering of basic fundamentals and adding tech. What we generally find is people that are physically fit, mentally, emotionally intelligent, that perform cognitive tasks under load, when you layer technology on, they actually use technology better than the folks that maybe didn't get that same baseline fundamental. Mm. So going back to what we've heard our whole careers, master the basics. The basics get harder as you go.
Yeah. When I talk to organizations and companies, I'll tell them that there's nothing special about being special forces. You just do the basics and fundamentals better than everybody else, and you never compromise the standard.
Oh yeah.
And if you can wake up every day and that's your default attitude, all the cool guy gear only makes you better,
Right.
but you never become reliant on it because it's your foundational habits that create that.
It's the epitome of a professional soldier, right? That's what every Green Beret wants to do. I agree.